first announcement. Oops. That for the benefit of the people that cannot join us, and for our benefit too, so we can review these materials later, we will be recording the session and sharing with you all. So once again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. If you have any difficulties with technology, my colleague Sarah Barber is an expert, and she can help you with anything related to Zoom or anything related to sounds or anything. So as you know, today we will be covering how to conduct a workplace needs assessment. I always like to add English at the beginning, an English workplace needs assessment.
Good.
Because I work. Somebody needs to mute for a second. Okay, so when we say workplace needs assessment, it's like we are gonna be solving all the problems in this workplace. No, we are gonna be solving the problems related to communication and English language skills. So I always say English workplace needs assessment. This series is brought to you by English for New Bostonians. What we do here is among many other things, we invest in the future of our region by creating opportunities for immigrants to pursue their educational, economic, and civic aspiration. And we do that by helping them to learn English as the best way that we can offer them the resources that they need so they can advance in their careers, they can support their families. And this series of workshops is being sponsored by Commonwealth Corporation. The word that I want to highlight in their mission is equity. This is exactly why they brought us together today and for this training series, because they manage the Workforce Training Fund program. We will be talking more about that, but a lot of those dollars are going to train people in very higher positions with companies, and Concord wants to see more of that money going into entry-level positions and training for the immigrant workforce. And that's exactly where we come in, and by working with you, we'll be able to train more and more of those workers. So for the agenda, very quickly, we will do a round of introductions. I probably will remove the sharing so I can see you, and we can make sure that everybody's had a chance to introduce themselves. We'll do some review of the objective that we have for this training and the ones that you have. There's a mistake there. I'm gonna leave the planning and evaluation team meetings for the workshops in 2 weeks from now, but the bulk of it is gonna be reviewing the steps of an English workplace needs assessment. So with that, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen so I can see you. I'm gonna be calling on your name. I would like you to share with us your name, your organization, and here's a question. What is your top source of information besides Google? You get it? What is your top source of information besides Google? And I'm going to start with Tim. Tim, go ahead.
My name's Tim Ruggieri. I'm the ABE director and temporarily the career pathways coach for Community Action Inc. in Haverhill. Your company reached out to me, I think roughly about a month ago. It seemed like a great idea, and there's some other. I see some other faces that I recognize from around the state. Other than Google, I would just have to say the databases that we use here at work. Other than that, CMS and our other databases that we use. So,
excellent. Thank you so much, Tim. Jenny.
Hello, I'm Jenny Norcott. I work for JVS Boston. And are you talking about source of information related to work or just in life in general?
Whatever you would like to choose.
I'll go with life in general, and I will say that my husband is my next source of information after Google, or the library. I get a lot of books from the library if I want to, but I have to go through the internet to get there.
Yeah, thank you. Kathy?
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm the Director of Education at Mujeres Unidas in Dorchester. Good question. I use Google for everything, but probably Twitter. I use Twitter for news a lot.
Yeah. Tom?
Hi, I'm Tom McCarthy. I'm the Education Coordinator for the Jamaica Plains Community Center's Adult Learning Program. And that is a very difficult question. I feel like I want to say my colleagues, though. I think I get a lot of information from my colleagues and sharing resources with them.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. And welcome the JP Adult Education Program. I used to work there and dear to my heart. Gladys, wanna go next?
Good afternoon, Gladys Franco from STCC, and personally, I would say the news and social media.
Yeah, and can you say what the siglas that you use? The STCC stands for?
Oh, sorry, it's the Springfield Technical Community College,
Thank you.
Springfield Adult Learning Center.
Great. We have people from every corner here. Thank you, Gladys. Cheyenne, sorry, I cannot pronounce your name.
No, it's okay. My name's Cheyenne Devaney, and I'm a program coordinator at Action for Boston Community Development. We offer ESOL classes at 3 of the ABCD sites. I work at the Mattapan site. I'm also a huge Googler. I would say next to Google, my primary source of info is probably Reddit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Reddit, but if you have a random super specific question, someone on Reddit has probably also asked the same question. So
Thank you for the tip. Tammy, you wanna go next?
Sure, I'd love to. My name is Tammy McDonald. I work at Blue Hills Adult Education. We're a satellite location in Dedham. And I definitely concur with, I think it was Tom who said that the colleagues and networking is my top source of information. In fact, we found out about you, Franklin, through Kevin over at Framingham. And when I am first interested in it, I'm doing my preliminary research, I immediately ask colleagues, where do I start? So
there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Chris, would you like to go next?
Sure, I'm Chris Gwaltney. I'm the Program Support Specialist for Community Education Program Holyoke, newly on board since March 7th. So hello, and coming to you remotely and always remote from Central Virginia. So hats off to Rose Egan who reached out and hired me. Life in general, if I can't Google, I'm gonna say YouTube, because there must be how to do it video somewhere on YouTube that I can watch, or several, so I can compare opinions.
Yeah, one day I'm gonna invent a game of having a group of people like us just going to YouTube and finding videos for the most crazy things because they are there.
Yep, they are.
Joyce, would you like to go next?
Hi, I'm Joyce Henderson, and I work with Tom at Jamaica Plain Community Center's Adult Learning Program. I am the director of the program. And other than Google, I will definitely say colleagues or word of mouth, but also my husband, who watches the news most of the day and does the Twitter, and he's on it, and he tells me everything when I come out of a meeting, guess what happened, you know, so he's on it. He is 100% on it. But usually my colleagues will share information.
Thank you, Joyce. Tricia, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Trisha Barboza. I used to work with Sarah at Bristol Community College. I'm the Associate Director of Business Solutions and Training. And I wrote down Salesforce. We use Salesforce for our CRM at work, but networking and colleagues and friends, and I'm an extrovert. So getting information from others helps build my skills, I think, and information.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Joanna.
Hey everybody, I'm Johanna Malone, co-director at Manhattan City's Abensando. Cheyenne, I am a Reddit fan. The article is, am I the you-know-what? You know, everyone knows that one on Reddit. So I use Reddit a lot, alerts on the phone, and really talking with colleagues and my husband throughout the day on different news and updates.
Great, thank you, Joanna. Abdallah?
Hi, my name is Abdallah Al-Hamoumi. I work for Asian American Civic Association. I am the workplace education coordinator. Getting information, well, same thing as our colleagues said before, there is networking. I would say something about Google. I use Google rarely. I don't look for my information on Google. But yeah, mouth to ear, networking. Like Chris said, we use YouTube. There is information on YouTube. And I have the advantage to speak 3 other languages. So I go to those resources and help me get the information.
Excellent. What are the other 3 languages?
Arabic, French, y un poco de español.
Oh, wow. Después de todo eso, español es fácil. Anna, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Anna Safish. I am the director of the Berkshire Community College Adult Learning Program. We teach English as a second language classes, way out on the other side of the state from many of you. I think for me, it really depends on what I'm looking for. So news is often my husband who reads every newspaper under the sun. Work is LACES, a database that we use for work. And then how-to is definitely YouTube. I would also just like to say I've been in meetings all morning, so I'm eating lunch. So I apologize if my if my camera's off once we finish with introductions. But it's nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much, Anna. No worries. Lisa, you probably pick it up. We are saying introducing by name, the organization, and what is your main source of information besides Google?
Besides Google. Okay. So yeah, I'm Lisa Garoni, coordinate the ABCD ESOL program at the Roslindale site. And, you know, when I'm in the car commuting or going anywhere, I generally have NPR on. So for news, I listen to NPR and a lot of their programming and podcasts. You know, also alerts on my phone, colleagues and friends. And yes, YouTube is my go-to for how-tos.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. Sarah, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Sarah Barber, and I'm the Workplace ESOL Coordinator at English for New Bostonians. So thank you all for joining this workshop. I don't know if it counts. I mean, I use Google, but then from Google, I go to like the Atlantic Monthly or National Geographic or maybe like original research papers. I use that a lot. I really like to go to original research papers and take a look at what's that instead of how the news or someone has condensed it, you know? So that's it.
Thank you, Sarah. We also have with us Wendy and Dino. there is an issue on her end that her computer is not allowing her to either use camera or sound, but she can hear us, and she will be participating, interacting with us through the chat. Wendy is with the Department of Correction, and she's a college and career coordinator there. Her main source of information is LinkedIn. Surprise, nobody said LinkedIn before, which is one of mine main source of information. And she said, and networking through other resources in the community. Thank you so much, Wendy. And again, any questions, any comments, feel free to keep using the chat, and we'll make sure to bring you in. For me, is definitely my wife. And when I ask her, she says, just go and Google it. So circle back. Anyway, so let me bring back, thank you so much. I have a list of things where I should be looking for information. But let me tell you the joke, well, not joke, since we are going to be talking about the entire afternoon about collecting information, I once remember I was in a group of career advisor, and the person that was leading the group said that she has, when she's looking for information, she has this 3 steps rule that have served her very well. And we said, so what are those steps? And she said, if I am 3 steps from somebody, I go and ask. And we were like, what? And she gave the example when she moved to Boston from somewhere in Virginia. She came to Somerville and she came, the first thing was to look for an apartment. She just stopped at the gas station to pump some gas after a long trip. And she just asked the guy at the station, you know, I'm new here, I'm looking for an apartment. Do you know anything? And the guy directed her to her first apartment in Massachusetts, the 3 steps rule. And we are going to be using the 3 steps rule a lot when we are working with these companies. So let me go back to share. Okay. Let me see if I can move to the next. There you go. Sorry about this, but for the benefit of the people that were not here, so I'll go very quickly over what we did. Couple things. So sorry, Abdallah and Lisa, that you were here last time. But here's what we did in the first workshop 2 weeks ago. And Sarah, feel free to share one more time the link to the website where we are keeping everything. We were talking about business engagement and how do we get in touch with these people. The first thing we did was to do a self-assessment of our organization. We review what it takes in terms of time and people and resources. We talk about, do we have what it takes now, or what type of investment do we need to do in order to be prepared to do this outreach to businesses? Then we moved to where to find employers. I said, let's start definitely with your students. And I share information about how we've done it, what kind of surveys we do with the students that we work with, where they provide us with a lot of information about where they work, how many people work there, are there other people that need English classes there, and even what is their opinion if their companies will be open to bringing English classes on site. And by the way, one of the person that was with us 2 weeks ago is not here today because he's actually meeting with a company this afternoon because 5 of his students stopped coming to the class because they all got jobs in this one particular company. So he decided to reach out to that company and in a friendly way say, you are taking away my students. So let's talk about how we keep teaching them English. So finger crossed, he's meeting with those guys. It's a manufacturing company, and we hope that he will be back in 2 weeks with the good news that that company is engaging in a workplace needs assessment to put together a training program for their newly hired employees, and I'm sure for other of their employees. We also talk about things what you mentioned here, all the websites and other places where databases where there is data available about companies. And I use the metaphor, I don't know, of do not look for, like looking for an employer once at a time is not gonna work. You need to start by, don't look for a needle on a haystack, look for it in a sewing kit. And that's where you need to be dealing and networking with those trades and chambers of commerce and other business groups. Go where they are. We talk about reaching out, making sure that you present to the companies as the expert in teaching English, because that's who you are, but also doing your homework and trying to learn as much as you can about the company before you reach out to them and before you have the first meeting. And at the first meeting, you need to listen. They are gonna tell you, the company, the owners, the general managers, the HR people, they are gonna tell you what is their issues. And you need to ask questions and be prepared to answer some of those tough questions or situations that the company will bring as obstacles for doing English classes for their employees. And that first meeting, what you want is to convince them that neither you or us have all the answers. This process, we need more information. We need to think this through. And how do we do that is through a workplace needs assessment. That's where you want to end that initial contact, that they see that you are serious about this, you know how to do this, and there is a model called workplace needs assessment, where you are going to be collecting a lot of data and presenting it to them to really be able to design a solid, a strong English training program for their employees. Once again, all the slides about this and the video is on the website that Sarah shared with us. And now I'm gonna, okay. So what we would like to do is to review the steps of an English workplace needs assessment with you, share some of the materials that we use. We'll be placing them, show it to them and sharing them through the website, and also practice using some of the tools, especially if we have enough time. But I always like to open the floor because you may have some particular question or topic that you really want to discuss. We asked you at the beginning when you were registering, and the things that you said you want to talk about, want to work on, that are related to a workplace needs assessment, were things like, you know, explaining the benefit of workplace ESOL, how to do the assessments, and measuring student progress, best practices for planning and implementing those training, and working across multiple sites and many different positions. The answers to many of these things lay here in the workplace needs assessment, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm also, what else? This is an opportunity. What else would you like to discuss about a workplace needs assessment? And I'll type it here for para la posteridad, however you say that, for the future. Just open your mic and tell me.
How many workplace locations do programs currently manage? Or maybe I should reframe that and say how many is it best practice to manage?
How many workplace ESOL programs? Yeah, it's all about how much capacity, right? We have. What else? What else would you like to know about conducting a workplace needs assessment?
How do you avoid over-promising and
Ooh.
under-delivering? I'm afraid to promise too much in the needs assessment and not be able to deliver it, whether it be staffing or other issues. You know, if they prefer a class at 6 a.m., I might not be able to find the staffing.
That is a great question, Tammy.
Thanks.
What else?
Is there a placement tool that you use for when students are coming into a program, or do we use the ones that we normally would use for our incoming students?
Great question, and we'll be talking about that. Sarah, get ready. One more, what else would you like to know? And this is slide number 5. We need to come back to it before the end of this training. Okay. Those are great questions, and hopefully we'll have enough time to go over all of them. How do I go back to, okay. Okay. So I want to start by the end and teaching to the exam. What does that mean? There are many reasons why and ways to fund those English classes at the companies. We do it through the Workforce Training Fund program. And in that sense, because you need to put together an application to the WTFP, the Workforce Training Fund program, our workplace needs assessments are guided basically by that application. It is shamelessly teaching to the exam. It's like we go into the company looking for the information that we need to fill out that application. And we'll share with you, like, you can go and see a sample of the application. It's nothing illegitimate. Like, it's a great program. If you do it well, you will accomplish your goal, which is to help the immigrant workers to improve their English language skills and access more opportunities, either with a current employer or with another company in the same industry. And the good news is that these people have plenty of money to give it to the employer. You help the employer to fill out the application, but the money comes to the employer, and then the employer, the company, uses that money to pay you. A quick example is we, 100 hours training for like one class, you can apply for anything between $35,000 and $40,000. And that $40,000, the employer will pass it to you for the training that you are going to be delivering. So they have plenty of money, and you will see what they are looking for is very specific in terms of the training, and that will help you to narrow down what kind of information you are looking for. This is good because when you come to the employer, they will see that you know what you are talking about. And although the application is a little longer, one, it used to be way longer than that, and two, Sarah and I can help you. If you haven't filled out one of those in the past, we can help you. We will be there to walk you through the steps. By that example of, started at the end and walking your way backwards, I use, you probably, Tricia, you know Rob Duncan at Commonwealth Corporation. Rob Duncan is the director of the Workforce Training Fund program. And he uses what I call his formula to quickly show a company the value of these workplace ESOL training programs. And it's very simple. He always says, you can use this money to take advantage of an opportunity that you have, where you will increase or to deal with the problem that you are facing, what you want to decrease. It's very simple. By improving the English language skills of our employees, we will increase or decrease X by X% from the current situation to our goal. The current situation is the key piece here. The workplace needs assessment. By the end of it, you should have a very clear picture of what that current situation is. And well, let me show you something here. How do I let me show you this. So these are some things that we always hear in those trainings and the employers, things that they want to do. They want to increase employee retention, production. They want to create new jobs. They want to decrease errors or rework or safety infraction. Just to see how the formula works, who would like to choose one of these categories so we can see it in action in the formula? Just choose one. So imagine you are a company, you want to decrease something or you want to increase something. Could be from this list or something else.
Customer satisfaction.
Customer satisfaction. So it will go something like, by improving the English language skills of our employees, we will increase customer satisfaction by, let's say, the question to the company is, what is your current situation with customer satisfaction? How do you measure that? They will tell you things like, something that I see a lot that employers pay a lot of attention is those ratings that people do. Let's say you are a restaurant and people dine with you and then they go and click 1 star or 2 star or 5 star. Let's say that the company is measuring customer satisfaction, among other things, by that rating on the whatever the websites that people use to do this. I don't go out too much, so I don't know. But let's say you have 3.6 stars out of 5, and you want to increase that. You could say, and this is a measure that you could use with the Workforce Training Fund program. You could say, I want to increase customer satisfaction from 3.6 star review to 3.9. You can track that because you are going to design a program that is going to be teaching English to the workers in this restaurant, focus on customer service. And after you want to make sure that when you are doing the workplace needs assessment, you are looking for all the opportunities to come with real materials and put together a training program that people are going to be practicing and doing role playing about interaction with customer. So by the end of the 100 hours, 120, 140 hours, depending how long the training is, you will be able to say, okay, let's check how we are doing in this customer satisfaction rating that we chose, or whatever other rating that the company has to measure customer satisfaction. And remember, I said here that you have to manage expectation, and you don't want to, as we were saying, Tammy, you don't want to overpromise, because there are so many things that goes into customer satisfaction. The fact that the customer cannot communicate fluently with the server or the waitress, or that's just one piece. So you wanna keep it to not as slow as possible, but you want to make sure that you are setting yourself for being able to deliver more than that you are promising. And the company will guide you on how much they think the problem that they are having with customer satisfaction has to do with the lack of English communication of their employees. So that's an example of how this formula works. We can take, for example, to decrease rework. A manufacturing company will tell you in average how many pieces they have to send back in the production floor because it came with defects. You say, okay, we are going to be teaching English to these people so they understand that what are the common mistakes and what are the pieces that they need to put in place, who should check what, in order that we don't have to keep sending pieces back to the production floor. And once again, you have to follow the lead of the employer. They will, some of them are very good at measuring in their industry and giving you a real sense of the numbers where they are now, that current situation. But also, if they are not, during the workplace needs assessment, you have an opportunity to tell them to pay special attention to one or two metrics and give you an estimate. We do that all the time, for example, in the restaurant industry, when I bring the formula to them and I say, okay, what is it that you want to increase or decrease? And it's always like, oh, I want my managers to spend less time in translation, like having to explain and translating from English to Spanish. And I said, okay, so how many hours a week one of your manager has to spend in translation? Well, I'm not sure. You assign that task, like just keep track for a week, how many times you get interrupted. So you have to come and translate work instruction from the manual or from another coworker that doesn't speak Spanish or Portuguese, and just give me a number. Is it 3 times a week? Is it 5 times a week? Is it 20 times a week? When they give you that number, that's your baseline, that's your current situation, and that's what you are going to be measuring against the effectiveness of your training. So that's where we want to get, to the current situation, either what is the problem that the company is facing or the opportunity that they think they can exploit if their people can communicate better in English. And I see that the chat, there's a lot of things in the chat. Sarah, can you help me? I cannot read all of that.
Hi, sure. There's a question. Do you mean the questions in the chat?
Yes.
One of the questions is, can the Express grant be used for ESOL programs?
Yes, you can do that. And I would say that's a great way to quickly engage a company in doing some training, but sooner or later you want to be dealing with the general program, because that's where the money is. I mean, the North Shore Community College just got a grant from almost more than $200,000 to teach English to employees of a manufacturing company in the North Shore. That kind of big league playing is very difficult to achieve with the Express program. So you want the Express program to get involved with a company, but you want to become an expert in the general program, because there's almost no limit to how much money you can get. And the Express program still, if you have more than 100 employees, I think they will cover just 50% of the training cost. And you wanna, the general program will cover 100% of the training cost.
And then there's one more question. Joyce, could you explain your question? Dr. Henderson, could you explain your question? Because I'm not 100% sure I know what you're asking about.
I don't remember asking a question.
Oh, then it's not Dr. Henderson, it's the other
There's another
Joyce.
choice. Yes,
Yeah.
there is another choice.
Joyce from SARE Jobs. Can you explain?
Joyce, can you hear us? Okay, so the question is, are there mandatory partners for submissions?
And then, for example, are mass hires required?
No, they will review them, but they don't have to be part of the submission. The submission is done by the employer, and the employer has to say who's the training provider. I'm glad I said that. Could you please? Yes, for people that have questions about the general program, I'll be happy to meet one-on-one with you, go over some of the sample applications that they have on their website, and review the do's and don'ts that that they have, things that will be red flagged when you are filling out that application. Okay, so we are going to move to an exercise now, but before that, I got this quote from the Workplace Education Guide, who was a program done here in Massachusetts several years ago, a couple of decades ago, but still, I would say the Bible of workplace ESOL. And they said, in our experience, employers generally support the concept of gathering data and assessing workplace needs prior to holding classes. And in our experience too, I'm always surprised by the amount of data and information that the employers are willing to share with us. You may think, oh, but like, they may think that's like proprietary, or no, we go to companies and say, can you show us the manual? Can you show us? And here it is. They will give it to you. There are a couple things that they will ask you to not share with third parties, but in general, the way employers see this is the more they can give you, the more they ensure that the training is responding to their particular needs. And that's what they want. They want you to teach the English that their employees need, and they will give you those materials and this information, okay? So we have a quick breakout sessions that we are gonna do. We will be reviewing the steps of the workplace needs assessment, but before we would like you to quickly have a chat about who you think should be you should talk to when you are conducting a workplace needs assessment, and what kind of questions you think you should be asking. And I just one of you type on the chat your comments and answers, and we will be doing this for 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll review what you guys think is critical when you are at the company conducting a workplace needs assessment. So Sarah, could you